Hey all, and welcome back to Puzzle Dirty Gaming and a new video series on the channel going from 0 to Mage Blood, hopefully. Now this is a pure 0 to hero run. It's on a brand new account, never ever played Affliction, so this is going to be starting with 0 currency. Don't use this if you want to use this as like a League Start scenario, because you're going to have access to leveling uniques very cheap and gear much cheaper than League Start. This is more a video for people to show that you don't need a ton of currency to make Tornado Shot get you something like a Mage Blood. And also to show people kind of the route that I would take to do that if I was starting from scratch. So it's something you could follow on SSF and use the trees and the atlas and things like that. But realistically, this is a trade scenario because I'm going to be targeting whatever is most profitable. So in the videos, I'll include the leveling trees, what leveling uniques I recommend you pick up, how to gear the character once you get to maps, what things to target early, and things like that. Obviously, you probably won't have to do this much of a chore because you'll have your Atlas unlocked most likely. But I wanted to do it as genuine as possible, which is why we're going to use a fresh account. So this first video is just going to be leveling. There'll be a few highlights. There'll be me going through the tree, what uniques I'd recommend you pick up, and what sort of character I'd try and aim for the end of the campaign. So with that out of the way, let's jump in and let's make our character. We're going to go Tornado Shot Deadeye for two reasons. One, it's still a build I see loads of questions about saying, I have 400 divines. I've been told it's not enough to build a Tornado Shot character. And lots of people asking, okay, I can build it with 200 divines, but I can't get that currency with Tornado Shot because I can't progress my character. So this is going to hopefully deal with all of those issues. So we'll call it something like that for now. We'll jump in and then I'll see you later on in the video. So when leveling, I did quite a few Wildwoods early on to try and find a yellow vendor to get the nice boost that they provide, but I could not find them anywhere. I literally did 25 Wildwoods, I think, didn't find that vendor. I did find the charms vendor, so I decided just to stay on that ascendancy because we do want to unlock everything that that ascendancy provides. So I did end up unlocking all of the slots, obviously other than King of the Mist, which can't do till T14s. I don't have any charms yet because I'm precise technique, so I can't crit. And most of my charms I'm going to want for some sort of crit chance bonus. One thing I will say is that even after patches and nerfs, the Wildwood is insanely overtuned for your League Start characters. I think I had died twice, which was both in Act 1 until I got to Act 10, and I decided to repeat one zone to go and farm the Wildwood, and I died well over 10 times. Some were one-shots, they put like 50% shock on you, there's loads of freeze in there. It was horrible, but I got everything I needed to get all of the ascendancies I could unlock at this point. So I'm at least in a position now where I can start using charms when it comes to it. Now I've put a POE in the video description for my character after leveling and a few early upgrades. If you do want to know how to level, you can just check out any Lightning Arrow League Start guide. I've not really deviated far from that, and I'm not sure the way I did it was 100% optimal. However, from here on in, from the next video onwards, I am going to be giving very detailed instructions on what I do, as I'm not sure anyone's done something like that for Tornado Shot. And I know that some people get really, really frustrated that they just don't know how to get to the end game of Tornado Shot. So the idea for my leveling was the usual, Rain of Arrows until 3rd lab, then we go Tornado Shot. My hope was that by the end of the 3rd lab, I've managed to luckily get a transfigured gem that's worth some chaos, maybe something that sells for 50 to 100 C, so I can then switch to Tornado Shot, because at this stage of the league, I'll get a decent bow, I'll get a 6-link, get a taming ring, just get some decent stuff to breeze through the first few tiers of maps. Now this wasn't looking good. The first 2 labs I got absolutely junk gem choices, but in the 3rd lab I actually got the option to swap a gem to its transfigured version, which I wasn't expecting to get, so I wasn't ready for this, but luckily I picked up a kinetic bolt gem really early in the campaign. I used that, and then that sold for 80C as a pretty much instant sale because I undercut everyone else by about 10C. That allowed me to get the gear I wanted to really get through to sort of tier 7 or tier 8 maps very, very easily. So I did make some purchases. I purchased a bow that was about 750 LED PS. I bought a taming ring. I bought a 2nd ring with non-channeling skills on it just to ease the requirements of having a 6-link at this early stage. And then I bought some movement speed boots because I was still rocking my Act 2 10% movement speed boots. And then I bought a 6-link chest. I don't really want to spend any more until I get to the point where I need to go crit, because most of the gear I buy now is not going to be any good for the character later on, and I don't want to waste currency. So I am now in a pretty good place to push on. I will speed to all of the essence nodes since they're really good money, and then probably the best way to get a few divines of gear on the character to then be able to push, do the Atlas and start really earning some currency. I don't really need to rush because I do need levels. The last thing I want to do is push through my Atlas but only be level 80 because I realistically need to be mid 80s to pick up all the crit nodes. Then I can switch to crit, get a better bow, and then really start ramping from there. That's kind of it for kind of the leveling. There's not much to go through. It is a very meta build in terms of bow leveling. There's tons of detail around if you wanted to know a bit more. So we'll do a map showcase, close the video out. This is really just, as I say, a very short intro video. Every video from now should hopefully be pretty detailed, and every single upgrade we make, every single decision we make in regards to the tree, the content we want to do, is all going to be covered in a lot of detail. So before we close out the video, I'll go and do a quick map showcase to show where we are at the moment. Then we'll close the video out, and then the next episode is probably going to pick up probably mid to end tier yellow maps, but it's going to include a lot of detail about what gear upgrades I made, what I decided to go for, just in case there's any other crazy people that want to do Tornado Shop from scratch. So we'll just go and do a map we haven't completed. So we'll go and do lab. Actually, no, I hate that map as a showcase. Core is also terrible. Let's do port as a showcase. It shouldn't take too long. We can do all of those. Blinds on hit is not ideal because of precise technique, and we should be okay getting blind actually with the accuracy we got. And we have now unlocked the essence node. So not much good at the moment, screaming essences, but they might be okay for crafting. But yeah, the idea is to literally beeline to all of the essence nodes. I've not really got any flask sorted yet. I've just got a jade flask and not a lot else. But I want to try and get these tiers done as quickly as possible to get essences unlocked. But I don't want it to be at the detriment of dying all the time. Because we do need to level, because we're going to need the points to go crit. Once we get sort of mid 80s, really not that bothered about dying too much. I just want to push to get some currency. Again, because we are obviously a long way into the league, super quick Atlas completion is not really necessary. I just need to unlock what I need to kind of grind the content that I want to grind. Which at the moment I've not fully decided on. But obviously essences, as I've said, are going to be something I want to unlock as soon as I can. Because then at least we've got an option to grind for a few divines worth of currency early on. So I'm just taking every currency I can get at the moment because I don't have a lot. That's the wrong way. And I don't want to run out of stuff for crafting maps and things like that. So fairly loose filter at the moment. I'm actually using my early map in league start filter, so there's going to be loads of bases that I'm not going to pick up because I won't be crafting. But early on in the league, it was something that I did because it's much cheaper than buying. Whereas at the moment, it's actually the supplies that are expensive, things like essences and things like that. And then I think probably the next thing on my shopping list will be Yoke of Suffering. And most likely a 2020 Tornado Shot gem just to get that extra secondary projectile would be pretty huge. Chaos Orbital is nice. And getting some life would be nice. I'm super squishy at the moment, but I don't mind too much. Okay, so that's that map done. And that's the end of the showcase. So that's it for the first episode. As I say, this is hopefully going to go on until we get the currency to get a Mage Blood. And then it's a series that's available if people want to re-roll a new character. Maybe they obviously won't have to worry about things like Atlas completion, but it at least gives you an idea of where to go if you want to do, you know, if you've hardly got any currency, you want to do a 0 to hero thing. It kind of shows you the steps I've done. There could be tons of better ways to doing it, but I will find a way that works, and at least it's something for people to follow rather than not really having any clue of where to go with an early Tornado Shop build. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.